everyone, my name is Jenna. I've been on Mounjaro slash Zepbound for 6 months. I've lost, actually, today I weighed in and I've lost 69 pounds. And I just want to kind of talk about what the last 6 months have been like and what happened previous, how I kind of got here. So after my son was born, somehow, some way, I ended up gaining 100 pounds. And I wasn't thin, skinny before that. So when I gained those 100 pounds, it was on top of what I was weighing. It was dramatic. At my highest weight, I was 288 pounds. I mean, I was pushing 300 pounds and I couldn't even look at myself in pictures. I look back at those pictures and I was embarrassed and miserable and I had no energy. I've talked about before the back pain I would get when I would walk any distance. And now I walk almost every day. I do Pilates. I've even tried kickboxing, which is a little intense for me still, but I try to keep up. But what really did it for me, and I had been hearing rumblings about these medications. My mother was a nurse and she had heard about it. She's like, you should ask the doctor about it. And, I was sort of hesitant, didn't know how to approach it, didn't know if insurance would pay for it, how much it was, the whole list. Well, then comes October, and I contracted COVID and got very, very sick. I ended up with COVID pneumonia and had to be admitted into the hospital for 3 days. I was on BiPAP, CPAP, and ended up, the doctor was saying about how they may have to intubate me if my O2 sats didn't go back up. Thankfully, they did go back up, and they didn't have to do that. But at that point, I was like, okay, I am done. Something has got to give. Something has to change. I can't live like this anymore. I'm going to die before my, young. So I had gone into the doctor and for the aftercare checkup, and I had said, listen, I know that obesity contributed to what had happened to me. I need help. I had tried keto, lost some weight, gained it back. I mean, I have dieted, it feels like my entire life. Funny thing, I remember being like 12 or 13 and this book coming out called the K-Swiss diet. That is the first diet I can remember trying. And I wasn't an overweight kid, but I remember just that always being a thing. So I go to the doctor and she says, well, you need to try high protein, low carb diet and come back in a couple weeks. I came back. I had lost some weight, which was then when she knew I was serious. And I have so much respect for her. I think she did the right thing to see if I was serious about, me personally, serious about losing weight before she prescribed, at the time, Mounjaro. And to be honest with you, I was excited, but not hopeful because everything else had failed. Why would this be any different? And of course, you go in, you take the shot, and within 24 hours, I felt different. And I could feel that I felt full. And I could walk past if one of my kids was having ice cream and I could just walk past and not really want it or crave it or think about it. And I wasn't obsessing over things, or food. Um, like really saying, oh, you know what? I really, really need that. I really, really need that candy today. I really, really want that. I need that particular dessert. I love coconut things, and, I would crave whether it was, something coconut flavored, coconut ice cream, coconut. So I noticed those intense cravings going away. Um, and in that first month, I wish I would have kept better records of how much weight I had lost when, but I had lost a significant amount of weight. I want to say it was like between 10 and 12 pounds. And I was like, oh my goodness. I went back to her and I said, this is amazing. Now, after that first month, I moved up to 5 milligrams, and I started, that was at that point, I started really walking and started actually, and recording my food, but not really recording my weight or my progress that way. I mean, I knew what I weighed from week to week, but I was not writing it down. And at this point, I wish that I had. I stayed on 5 milligrams for 1 month, and moved up to 7.5, and I was on 7.5 for 3 months or so. And that is something that I do regret. I do regret moving up so fast. I don't know why I felt like moving up, I was gonna, the higher I went, the more I would lose. And, I was afraid those feelings were gonna go away. And I do wish that I just would have cooled it and stayed where I was for a little bit. I mean, I'm on 10 milligrams now, but, I wish I would have kind of maybe stayed at 5 for a little bit longer. Although with the shortage, I don't know what would have happened, because I heard 5 and 7.5 are difficult to get. But I don't know. But I did find in that time I kept losing weight. I had those same feelings about not having those cravings. And my big thing was I used to eat at night. I would be okay throughout the day and do pretty well. It was at night, and it would be anything, whether it was waffles and ice cream when I wanted something sweet, crackers and cheese. But it was a big thing that I would eat at night, and that stopped. When I got to 7.5 milligrams in there, I think I really intensified what my exercise was. I stepped up that exercise. And, I was still eating in a calorie deficit. I try to eat, and I use my Fitness Pal. I eat about, I think it's like 1,350 calories a day or something. Somewhere in there, I don't know exactly. I started really watching my protein, looking at protein for my fullness level. And I liked the Oath protein, because they have the clear whey protein, which the Cocoa Raz, because I love coconut flavored, is amazing. There's a watermelon one, but I kind of got a little tired of chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. There's really milky protein shakes. I was kind of getting a little tired of that really milky stuff. And I tried a few different proteins. I mean, Fairlife, and they're fine. They're good. I just prefer the having like the Cocoa Raz flavor, and having it be more of like a drink than a thick like milk based shake. But that's when I started really with the protein shakes, getting into that. I had heard about drinking electrolytes. I started with Element electrolytes. I think they are amazing for just hydration and recovery. I love them. So I started to up my game a little bit, I think, when I got to 7.5, because after those first 2 months, I was excited. I was like, wow, for the first time in my life, I can I can do this and stick to it. And I was so happy with my results. I started about a month ago on 10 milligrams. Thankfully, during none of these jumps have I had any terrible side effects. I am so grateful that I haven't had anything awful. I mean, right after maybe a day or two, the sulfur burps come, or um, constipation, but nothing that was serious, easily controlled. And so, yeah, I have been thrilled with that. I do get a lot of anxiety when it comes time to refill about being able to find my prescription. Hasn't happened yet that I haven't been able to find it, but I am afraid because I do not want to backslide. Um, I prefer to take brand name, so I know compounds are available. And if I could not find brand name, I would go to a compound. I've researched enough and looked into different places. I would do that. It is not my first choice, but in a situation where I couldn't get my Zepbound, I would. And I pay out of pocket right now. So, the financial end of that really doesn't affect me because I'm paying for it anyway. But yeah, so now I am to the point where I have lost over like 69 pounds. I am so excited. It has been years since I have been this weight. I am, not that far off from being 200 pounds. And I can't believe it. There was a time that I thought I was destined to be obese, to just never lose this weight. And I knew I have insulin resistance, and I thought, well, that's why I can't lose weight. I did try taking metformin. That was an absolute nightmare. I had such diarrhea from it, and honestly, I was afraid with this medication because I did read up before I took it, and I thought, oh God, my stomach is so sensitive. I can't go through what I went through with metformin. That was awful. Please, 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 don't let that happen. It didn't. And I am so grateful to live at a time where this medication is available. The science behind this is amazing. I am just happy and I am grateful, and I cannot imagine things being any other way. I hope in the future more people have access to this medication. I think it is absolutely life-changing. I can't say enough good things. Thank you to Eli Lilly for making this medication. I can't wait to see. I know that there's lots of stuff coming down the pike in the next few years, but for now, I am happy where I am. I am happy with Zepbound. My family obviously is happy. I think it's a big relief that for my health, I think it's a big relief. And I just also want to say before I go that I think you get out of it what you put in. And I've said before, you can take this medication and just eat less McDonald's or eat less of what you were eating. But I truly believe the more you put into it, the more you exercise, the more, you stay in your calorie deficit, the more you're going to get out of it. I am so excited. We opened the pool last week. I'm excited to get in there and add swimming to my physical activity. I am so excited for that. The pool's still a little cold, but I can't wait for that. I can't wait to be able to get into the pool and exercise. So, a lot of good things coming this summer. Hopefully, I will continue to lose weight and continue on this amazing journey. I just kind of wanted to give an update as to how briefly, and how the last 6 months has gone for me. So, thank you for listening. Please leave a comment. I would love for you to subscribe and have an amazing day. Thank you.